Donald Trump didn't cancel the Super Bowl. He canceled himself. Not the game, not the event, not the league, his personal appearance. And the reason why exposes something his inner circle has been trying desperately to keep hidden. They know exactly how unpopular he is, and they are terrified of what happens when that unpopularity is seen live, unfiltered, and impossible to spin. According to multiple reports, Trump's advisors warned him directly that if he showed up at the Super Bowl, he would be booed loudly on camera in front of the largest television audience of the year, not just a few hecklers. Sustained, unmistakable booing, captured on broadcast, replayed instantly, and shared across social media to hundreds of millions of people. One advisor reportedly said that viral clips of Trump being booed by tens of thousands of fans with more than 100 million viewers watching at home would be another thing we don't want right now. That phrase says everything. Another thing we don't want right now, because this administration is already struggling to control the narrative. So Trump backed out. His excuse was that California was too far away. The man with Air Force One, the man who flies across the world for rallies and photo ops, suddenly decided the trip was just too long. This wasn't about distance, it was about fear. And that fear connects to something much bigger. It's already 2026. We are 9 months away from the midterm elections, and Donald Trump, along with key members of his administration, are acting like people who do not believe they can win a free and fair election. Trump himself has said it out loud. If Republicans lose Congress, he expects to be impeached again. He's not focused on legislation. He's not focused on governing. He's focused on survival. Despite the constant bravado, the rallies, the social media posts, the claims that he's never been more popular, his own advisors know the truth. The administration understands that Trump is in serious trouble, and so is the Republican Party. And it's not just polling that's flashing red. The election results are doing it too. Look at what just happened in Texas. A special election in a deep red state Senate district flipped to Democrats by 14 points in a district Trump carried by 17 points in 2024. That's a 31-point swing. That kind of movement is almost unheard of in modern American politics. Yes, turnout was lower than a general election. Yes, special elections can exaggerate trends, but even a fraction of that swing nationwide would be catastrophic for Republicans in the midterms. A 5-point swing would wipe out the Republican House majority. A 10-point swing would erase it completely. Trump's team knows this. They see the numbers. They see the writing on the wall. And they know that unless something changes dramatically, they don't have a path to winning the midterms legitimately. So Trump started searching for other options. The first option was gerrymandering. Why risk voters choosing representatives when representatives can choose their voters? Trump aggressively pressured Republican-controlled states to redraw congressional maps mid-decade, something that almost never happens. Texas did it, Missouri did it, Ohio considered it, but the move sparked backlash, not just from Democrats, but from Republicans too. Indiana flatly refused, even after high-level pressure. Blue states responded defensively. California redrew its maps. Other states followed. And when the dust settled, the entire gerrymandering strategy failed. In fact, it may have backfired. What was supposed to be Trump's secret weapon turned into a wash, or even a net gain for Democrats. That brings us to Plan B, seizing control of the election machinery itself. This is not speculation. Trump has questioned election legitimacy repeatedly. He did it in 2020 when he pressured officials to find votes. He did it publicly, privately, and relentlessly. And now, as his approval numbers slide and electoral paths narrow, that rhetoric is beginning to return. Chris Hayes recently warned that we may be weeks or months away from Trump openly suggesting that the midterm elections should be delayed, disrupted, or delegitimized. He has floated similar ideas before. The difference now is that he's doing it from a position of weakness, not strength. This is where the Super Bowl story becomes important. Trump attended last year's Super Bowl and received a mixed response. Some cheers, some boos. That was before his approval ratings collapsed. That was before economic dissatisfaction grew. That was before sustained backlash over immigration enforcement, federal shootings, and aggressive crackdowns. His advisors looked at the current political environment and made a cold calculation. The risk of public humiliation outweighed the benefit of appearing presidential. Think about what that means. The President of the United States is now making scheduling decisions based on whether he might get booed on live television. That is not confidence. That is fear. And it didn't stop there. Remember what else was supposed to happen at the Super Bowl? ICE agents were originally expected to be deployed throughout the stadium and surrounding areas. The announcement was made publicly. It was framed as immigration enforcement. And then, quietly, it was walked back. No fanfare. No explanation. Why? Because the optics would have been devastating. ICE agents roaming a family sporting event watched by more than 100 million people would have defined the administration for months. Images of detentions at a football game would have overwhelmed every talking point they tried to push. So they backed down. The pattern is unmistakable. When public reaction is visible, uncontrolled, and impossible to spin, this administration retreats. That tells us something crucial. Pressure works, visibility works, public opposition matters. The administration wants to project dominance, strength, inevitability. They want opponents to feel resistance is pointless. But the Super Bowl cancellation exposes the truth. They are afraid of crowds. They are afraid of viral moments. They are afraid of losing control of the narrative. That fear is useful information. Watch what happens next. Watch for more canceled appearances. Watch Trump avoid venues where the crowd can't be screened or controlled. Watch the polling closely because his advisors clearly are. Watch how the administration handles elections, immigration enforcement, and public demonstrations. Every retreat tells the same story. They want you to believe they are unstoppable. They are not. A president who hides from football fans because his team fears booze is not operating from strength. He is operating from insecurity. And insecurity leads to reckless decisions. Remember this moment. Document it. Share it. Use it. Because every time the illusion of strength cracks, the reality becomes harder to hide. And that reality is exactly what they are trying so desperately to avoid.